All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Grant Hubbard here with another Gutter Growth podcast. I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit today about liking and subscribing to the podcast. It helps us out a bunch, but that's not actually my real topic. I have my good friend Alex Mejia here today, and we wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about the importance of company culture, having a culture champion, whoever that may be in the company, a little bit about Alex's experience with me as a leader up until even today, the last couple of days, hanging out, seeing the way I do things, and then just let everybody know about you. You're going to be having a gutter business starting soon, and we would like to follow you through that journey. So, Alex, man, thanks for joining me. So
Yeah.
he flew in. He flew in. You've been here 2 days now.
Yep.
We still got another day together. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, my name is Alejandro Mejia. I came from Colombia back in 2015, and I was doing landscaping until I have a job offer from somebody at church. I'm a family of faith, and I have a beautiful wife and two beautiful kids too.
Yeah.
So it was a good opportunity at that time. I wasn't doing that good in the landscape business, so I took the chance. First thing they asked me is like, "Are you scared of heights?"
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
like, I needed the job, so I said, "No, I'm not scared of heights. That's fine." So
Yeah.
I joined, and then I met you
Yeah.
back in I
The
think it was 2018 summertime.
summer it was definitely 2018. It was summer. It was like one of those it was like one of those like hottest days of the year. I remember, and you came ready to work. You had
Yeah.
on like full jeans, you had on boots, like construction, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like you normally would. And I remember going, "This gonna be
Gonna be
very hot for this guy. Very, very hot." So yeah, that was like what, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
about yeah 8 years ago.
Six, what, 2004 now? What
Well,
was 18? It was the beginning. Was it
six,
17?
maybe
It was
17.
it was 17. It
Yeah,
was
7 years
2017.
ago.
Yeah. 7 years ago. And this guy comes to me, and I'm working at a company in Florida at the time. Uh we didn't necessarily have formal position over there,
Hmm.
but I ran,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, pretty much
yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Got some support from the owner, and like maybe office guy was on and off. Remember there was a couple ladies working there, like we'll get into that about culture, but
Hmm.
I think I was really trying to push having a good company culture at that place, and I was meeting resistance,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like the owner wanted to run it a certain way, and I was trying to listen to Eric Thomas in the morning. Oh, remember
Yeah.
the other song that used to play all the time, the Russian guy?
Yeah, yeah. Beat us.
Yeah, oh my gosh, right? But like we were laughing in the morning, like
Having a good
everybody,
time.
for the most part, we were having a good time. And even back then, like I was trying to be a culture champion. Like I understood keeping people around, paying them well, training them, everything, like
Hmm.
a lot of companies I worked at, even when I was not as good as an installer, man, the guys wouldn't train me. Like the
Hmm.
guy who knew the most, he would despise you. He would like not try to train you. If you were good at all, they would not want you on their truck. He's going to take all my money instead of thinking bigger picture, right? Because
Hmm.
typically I think that those companies don't have like a good structure built, a system in place, and mainly like a vision from the owner. Like, here's what I'm building. Here's how long we want to stay open. Here's like in the order we're probably going to hire. Like, we're going to hire four installers and then a salesman, and then probably another two or three installers and then a salesman. We're going to buy one truck by the, like, whatever the vision is. Again, like I always say, feeling like you're in a career, not a
Hmm.
job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's separate from the partner slash employee thing, but that fits into there too. So Alex came, didn't know anything about gutters.
Zero.
Can't remember who I was training before that, but it was a lot of people, right? I don't,
Hmm.
somebody was before you. Oh, probably Tio. And, he
I
was
think you were with Tio, yeah.
on and off. That guy never,
Corey.
yeah. Corey before that,
Yeah.
was working a lot. Me and Corey obviously just obliterated gutter jobs. I think it was mostly, so Tio was my uncle, rest in peace. So he died a couple years ago, and he was battling, with things. It just happened. So, um, deal, right? But about me and you, man, like tell us a little bit about your experience. When maybe like your first impression of me over the first month, because I don't want to make this about me. I want to make it about your experience,
Mm-hmm.
unscripted, the real deal. Who was Grant 8 years ago? Because I think I'm still the same guy. The way
Yeah,
I feel I
100%.
treat
Yeah.
people. This podcast is sponsored by One Gutter Guard, the premium gutter guard that delivers the highest performance, quality, and value to your customers. From its different mesh filters to its unibody construction, One Gutter Guard can be the difference maker in your business. Are you interested in becoming part of the exclusive dealer network? Contact them today at onegutterguard.com or just give them a call. Now back to our show.
Yeah, no, I remember again as we were talking this morning.
Here comes the stories. Watch, he's going to embarrass me to no end.
No, I remember we were doing the snappy turtle.
The snappy turtle.
And
Yeah,
so I think I've been working there for probably like a week or two. I
maybe
don't
so.
remember.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just mainly watching, driving. You
I
got
didn't have the new guy doing too much, right? I didn't put like a
no,
lot of
yeah,
pressure on you right away.
just like yeah, helping you with hangers, loading coils,
Yeah, yeah.
stands,
The basic
suspension
stuff.
cord,
The
yeah,
basic stuff.
ladders,
Yeah.
helping the guys, bringing the caulking tube.
Mm-hmm.
So this job, it was like a two-story, and then you just like, hey, take these pieces to the guys, and then we have Eric and James upstairs.
Oh, that's right.
There
They were
on the
hanging on
roof
the roof.
waiting
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me with to bring the piece like a 28, 30 foot round, 6 inch. And I've never been on the ladder going to a second story. And he's like, man, you good, you got this. He was
Yeah.
like trying to motivate me. And then so
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like halfway up, and he's like, "Don't look down, man. Just keep going, keep going." First thing I did, look down. So I freaked out a little bit,
Yeah,
and then it was like it's by the ocean. It was kind of
it
windy.
was. It would
I didn't know
definitely.
how to control the gutter. I mean, it was like windy, and then it started like moving, and I just like froze. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah. I
there like
remember
that,
that.
and then that piece rolled,
Yeah, piece rolled.
and I was like, "Oh,
You freaked out at
yeah."
first.
I
I know
was
you
like,
thought you were in trouble or
I'm just
something.
gonna lose my job, man. Ugh. And then you're like, "Oh man, that's fine. Don't worry, man. I can fix that." You were just laughing at it, and then just make it calm down. And then you told me to go back again with the other piece that you know. So
Yeah.
you're always trying to motivate, like never ever, unless it was like something I asked like a million times. That's a different story.
I don't
Like
think we had. Yeah, yeah, but
yeah,
I don't think we had that trouble.
no,
We can get to that part. Yeah. This
but
is
yeah,
like your first couple weeks, right? So
yeah, I
like
was freshly new, and again, I barely knew anything
not
about gutters.
even just me. I'm just inspiring people to understand in those first couple weeks. I think we were having fun. It
Oh,
was really
every
hot.
day, every
I
day.
didn't expect you to do too much, but I was telling you you're gonna make good money. Just keep being patient. We're gonna pay you more, 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 more because I wasn't in control of how much you made.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Eventually you're like, hey, let me get a more percent. Let me get more. And as you started doing more work, you
Yeah, if
always
you
got
do,
paid
you
more.
start clocking corners. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm paying you
So
this much today. I'm paying
kind
you.
kind of noted. Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Kind of noted. I would say, and maybe you agree, I would say the first month of anybody that does not know how to do gutters. I don't know if you remember, I tell you this, like, I don't necessarily need your body. I just want to now have four hands. You were always an extra set of
Mm-hmm,
hands.
mm-hmm.
Remember, I would be doing something, I would reach down, you already knew what to hand me. You come up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ladder,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
hey, you
yeah.
dropped oh, you need a new battery. You're probably ready. Oh, more caulking. I see you're about to hit 6 more miters here. I know you're going to put 3 tubes in your pouch. So I like to be a lead installer that builds expectation through repetition of the simple basic stuff while he watches the master, the pro, the best guy, the semi decent lead installer, whatever you consider yourself to be, do things over and over and over for like 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Yep.
To keep it really simple. And that first week, I think we had maybe Tio and James on a couple of things, but I think within 2 weeks it was just me and you
Yep. Probably. Yeah.
forever, like a year at least.
Mm-hmm. But
How a year and a half or so? I
almost
mean,
two
it could have
years.
been 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you got some stories. Let's kind of keep this talking about culture.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see from your instructor over the next 6 months, that first 6 months. And it was the hottest
Yeah.
summer.
Oh yeah.
We came, I think by Christmas, we had been together almost 6 months. How did you feel coming into a new year? Like, man, I'm going to keep this job, or this sucks, or, not
No,
making any money. Like, where were you at?
no, I just when I first started, I was making like the same money I was doing before.
Yep.
So that was
Yeah.
good, a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
start for me. And then I knew I can just scale up,
Because
I
we
got
talked to you about the percentage pay, right?
yeah,
Get the tools,
yeah.
learn the
I
trade, right?
think
Start
within
doing
the
things.
first week I had my pouch, I
Yep.
had my drill. So you
Getting
saw I was
everything
like
together.
trying to get there too,
Yeah,
You
you
saw
were
I was
ready.
motivated. I wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
like just there hanging around. And then so I made that investment. I knew it was like an investment. So
Yep.
first thing I started doing that was caulking miters. And
Mm-hmm.
then caulking everywhere on my
Caulking. You
elbows, my nose.
remember those days,
That's
man?
yeah.
Caulking. I would say to you, man, like, what is going on, man?
Hitting the- But yeah, no. So back to your question. So you
Can I
always keep.
tell a little bit about the caulking corners? You
Mhm,
guys heard me say I went from like kind of zero responsibility. Hey, remember I would say it too, like, go give me the caulking, or I need another battery, or
mhm,
put another ladder over there. And I would tell you every time, pay attention, because I'm going to say the same things every day, every couple minutes, so when you can start to forward think
mhm.
of, well, I don't have to say it. Oh,
I'm already yeah.
now you're
One
starting
step.
to be worth more money. Now we can talk money. So you guys want to engage with high level expectation through high level communication, direct, with respect. And not saying him, I'm not saying anybody, but a lot of people, especially now, need specific direction. Not like, oh man, what are you, an idiot? It's just gutters. You've been here 2 days. You should already know how to do this.
And
Not if you want them to know how to do it at a high level and then become a leader. If you just plan on having helpers, the rest, treat them however you want. Treat them like a helper. But we're doing more like logic and engineering. Here's why I want you to do this, and focus on doing it again repeatedly through repetition. What does that have to do with culture? Well, I think it's um, possibly inspiring,
yeah.
fun. You're being respected through a leader, and I'm teaching you a trade. And I'm not belittling you, right? And I'm not making you feel like, hey, man, how many times have I told you I need caulk? No, I make it clear. Today, I'm going to be asking you for caulking when I'm short. We have 47 miters, and I can't carry that much.
Mm-hmm.
But pay attention. One caulking tube is probably going to get me 2 or 3 miters, 6 or 7 or 5, whatever.
Yeah.
So start to pay attention to that routine, and it would be important to me if you picked up on that after the first 4 or 5 times, and you did. Same thing, just communicate the expectations about the importance of growth. This is why and I have no problem saying this. I'm one of the better trainers in the entire country, if not the world, because of the way that I understand people need to be trained. It's a different way of training and I've worked a lot of places, and I pride myself on that training. Yeah, 6 months in though, we got into it right away. Not into it, like we got into the work. We were busy.
Oh yeah. 10-hour days.
10-hour days. We were
Really
doing
hard.
my machine, right, was 6-7 combo at that time. I had the luxury of having we had the
I'm mainly doing the 7 inch.
mainly all 7 inch, yeah. All hand tab.
Yep.
We hand tabbed everything. So we're gonna shoot some numbers out here just to inspire. Listen, I can barely right now. I was putting up a camera in one of the new locations today. I jumped from what, like 3 foot, and I think I messed up my back. And it's funny, right? But like, I can't do what we used to do anymore.
Uh-huh.
I can't do what like you're about to do, starting your business. You're gonna be owner operator. What Theo and these guys, like, of course I could if my life depended. I had to survive for my
You'll
family.
have to. Yeah.
Man, I'm in a lot of pain when
Mhm.
I'm doing certain things.
Paying the toll.
I don't have it anymore, man. I don't. I could never. I can still cut because I help the guys. I could never hang 1,000 feet of gutter anymore, man. That would be done.
Mhm.
Cramping, all that stuff. So, but within your first month, we were doing 1,000 to 1,500 feet of gutter, 7 inch hand temp mansions. Remember, we would pull up, you would just see like 12 inside outside corners all the way down. Like, why do they build it like this? And then more 2-story and 3-story on the ocean, like
Downhill.
bays, downhills, all hand tab. And I had a lot of fun and I felt good because you respected me. We had a great culture. And remember when other people would come work on our truck or we would have to work with other guys, like we just had fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you always like butt head a little bit on the heat,
I
but
mean,
when the guy doesn't have a drill or food or water or like a belt, you know what I mean?
daily
Like
drama.
that's the drama. Like, man, where's your shit? Because we're used to crushing it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But even then, we treat those guys with respect, right? Remember, we always loaning our tools, things.
Yeah, yeah.
So you started to
First
pick
six
up.
months, 1 year.
Yeah, yeah. When do you think you really started to pick up gutters and
I
like
would.
enjoy it? We started to. We're both men of faith.
Uh-huh.
We started having those conversations quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
We were both going and through things in life too, right? Just
Mhm.
so we were leaning on each other about stuff. I think that helps create a bond that's different, right? Than maybe respectfully, like just talking about hoes or the club the night before, like smoking tons of pot, whatever. Like we weren't really having those. We were listening to worship music, so we were searching at the time for something greater, and I think we were working with our hands. We were really encouraged about what we were doing. So I think we had an extra special relationship for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You picked it up quick.
I don't think so.
Well, look in
I think
hindsight,
it.
but look in hindsight. What is quick? How many
Yeah,
years does it take to learn to walk? You guys hear me a little bit because I want you, when you speak to other people, to inspire them. My man right now is being a little short-sighted on how quick he picked it up. I'm going to educate you on something right here
mm-hmm.
with your children, your wife, your friends, and now soon your employees. We're going to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight, how many years it take you to learn to walk?
Probably 2.5.
2.5. Okay. How many years would it take you to become electrician?
I don't know,
I
4.
mean, two, three, four,
Yeah.
like a decent one, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many years would it take you to become a doctor?
Oh, like 6, 5.
8, 12,
Yeah,
6,
yeah.
5. Okay, like a dentist or something.
Yeah.
How many years would you think it would take you, last question, to become like a professional soccer player?
Whole life probably.
But even a decent soccer player, probably play from like 2 years old or 4 to
16,
16,
18.
18, 16, 18, 20.
Yeah.
Now you're in your 20s and you're pretty good,
Yeah,
D
yeah.
League or something.
16 years. Yeah.
How much time did it take you to be taught by a really good instructor to be doing gutters? We're talking 1,000+ feet of seamless 7-inch gutter hand tap, and we did quality work. We weren't
Yeah.
doing,
Oh,
I mean, I had really high expectations. 5 stars, bang out every day, 5 days a week.
mhm.
How long you think it take you to like be a part of that team? 6 months?
Around 6 months. Yeah.
You and now in retrospect, how good
Yeah,
were
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want you
You
to
really
look
think
at
it
things
did.
like that, man, and
That's what I
inspire
thought.
your.
6 months was a long time for me. That's what I was.
But now when you see it,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna become an engineer in 6 months.
No, yeah, true. And I was telling you the other day, I think or I thought that you were like very patient with me because in my mind, I think it took me a lot.
I probably
A
was,
lot.
yeah, a lot of frustrating days. What did that first 6 months look like in for me as a head installer? Like when the third month we pull up to like that big house with the paint. You had been there like 90 days already
Yeah,
when the
yeah,
paint blew up.
yeah, yeah.
How big was the house? Tell them how big the house was.
So, man, that was huge. I don't know how many
I
feet.
think
I can't
about like
remember. Like
700 or 800 feet,
minimum, yeah, probably like 1,200. I believe.
1,200 feet.
There was a couple 80-foot runs, and there was
I
a
mean,
few
there's a lot
elevators,
in
and
that
there
big.
was
They
a
had a
two-story.
courtyard and
Yeah, that was a big, big.
yeah, and then downspouts and like all offsets. Remember on everyone,
Yeah, yeah.
those houses. Oh, I hated that shit. Every house got a stucco band at 4 feet. And what do I do over there as a leader? You've been with me
Well,
90 days.
yeah.
Cut the gutter, measure the gutter,
Hang the gutter.
show you how to put the every
I
downspout.
was having trouble with like inside miter. Like it took me
Mm-hmm.
like forever.
That one in the back. It
Like
was
it kept
so
on going
hot.
like 30 seconds. And I'm like, really? And
Right.
I've been there for like 25 minutes trying to get it done.
And how did I treat you?
No, yeah, that's what I said. You were very patient because again, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because I've been doing it at that time for like 17 or 18 years. I know the difference. I can't have the same expectation of you.
mhm,
Now, what I aspire for a guy like you, and same with the guys that I'm working for, they know it. Hubbard, Hilmer, Boris, like anybody, Therion that's working under me. If you're a good trainer, see, I had to go through all the ropes and all the BS, and I had to learn through a industry change too, from spike and furrow going over to hanger. They were coming out with a lot of new parts. We were going from like these solid covers that we thought were good back then. Remember the Waterloo? Like those ones. We were trying new things, right? They were sold high, good to us. We thought they were. Everybody in the back in the day tried those things, and then you learn what works. Um, you know, we were going through so much. Like it took me all those years to learn, but imagine you worked with me for 5 years. You should be just as good if I'm a good trainer.
Yeah.
I had to learn all the hard ropes on my own, man. Like, shout out to Ian. Ian works for Tina Hart and Idaho Seamless Cutters in Boise, Idaho. Me and him work together at another company, and I know Tina runs a very high level operation over there. Shout out to that whole team. Tina's my girl for sure. Like they're one of my favorite gutter companies in the nation because of who I know and how they run it with their culture and the way she has compassion and cares. Like I've been watching her do that, and that's been part of why I know that I'm doing the right thing. My friend works over there, and he thinks the world of her and that operation. Um, but when I was working in Boise before I came to Florida, I came to Florida. I went to one company, and then I started the other one where I met you. And over the next 2 years, we had a lot of fun. Hard work.
Every day. Yeah, every day.
But the biggest houses, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand either. I think I do understand, but I can't say specifically because I don't know every person on the planet doing gutters. I see a lot of people like 200 or 300 feet of gutter with box miters or strip miters, 50 or 60, like the house we seen today over there with that team. Me and you would do that house in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And quality undercap, steel drip edge, like done, man. Remember, super important system, having fun doing it. Those guys, I mean, they weren't moving slow. They're different leadership. Um, Probably like 4 hours on there, which wasn't bad at all either, because those guys have been doing gutters like barely a couple years, and they have a lot of checks and balances in the franchise we didn't have, right? We just go up, go.
Yeah.
You got any funny stories, man? About like, I know you have a lot, but like one that sticks out in your mind of something me and you did. We did some condos, remember? What was the tallest ones when we were dropping the brand new is that like 80 feet? How many?
That was like 8 stories.
Eight, yeah,
Yeah.
8, 9 stories.
Yeah.
How long had you been with the company then? Pretty quick too, like maybe 4 months. It was that first summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were looking at some pictures.
Yeah, we'll have to look at those dates.
Yeah. It's probably right there. But yeah,
Like this guy, stop taking him up. Let's go, baby boy. We out of there.
remember
You
the
weren't.
other place where the lift just died on us, like halfway. It wasn't an 8 story.
That's a
Like
story. Tell
5 story.
that story. That's a good one. Tell them this story.
Yeah, no, we were doing this building right on I think it was Delray, and we were doing like a 5 story, copper boxes.
Well, that was on the golf course, right? Remember, it was like over on the. I don't remember what those condos, like retirement condos, but
Yeah.
yeah. That's with the same place. Another time we got stuck in all that mud.
So yeah, we were doing the copper boxes. We're like halfway. I think we were going down to get some more downspouts or something, and then the boom.
No, we had that one made. Remember, we had like 7 sticks stuck
And
together.
then we just grab it and then just strap.
Yeah, and then we just bring it all the way up, and then we just work the straps down. Remember, we had the stick. We had just come up, but it wouldn't go all the way up, and it beep 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 like whatever it was, like 6 stories.
Yeah.
Freaking out, man. That sucks. And it was always windy.
Yeah.
That happened twice to us, right? We were stuck up over there. Maybe it was me and Joe.
Yeah, I remember just one time. Yeah, but
Man.
yeah, we have to wait for like 45 minutes.
6 stories up, we're rolling around. Like, man, we had that downspout the whole time too. That was like curved. They were stuck inside of each other all the way up. Like calling the company. Remember, I'm gonna be like 2 hours. He showed up like 45 minutes and brought us down. That was a good one.
Yeah. And then the first day when when I first started, it was me, you, Teal,
Yeah.
maybe James. And then I think probably like 2 weeks. That was my birthday, I remember. It was our first day, just me and you.
Mhm.
Okay, and then so I was gonna make more money because I was already doing miters.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we were doing that hotel, whatever it was. And I was holding the 2-story downspouts. I was like on the first floor,
Oh, this
climbing
is the
them,
one
getting
in
up.
Pompano
Yeah,
when
oh,
I had
just
the
hold it right
accident.
there really quick.
Yeah,
When
just
you got
stand down there
strap.
and hold this while I tighten these straps.
And I'm just there holding it, and then I don't know. I just saw like a shade or something. I look up, and then
It was a bird.
he missed it. You missed the drill. It didn't hook on
It
your,
didn't hook on the
and
thing.
then it
Yeah.
just hit
And
me in
I
the
think
eyebrow.
the funny part too, we were
Straight
just
to the
talking
hospital.
about safety like before that or something, yeah, I had to
First day.
take him to the
Yeah.
hospital. Remember, I was worried you were gonna quit when you're like, man, are you gonna keep coming back? Because we were having a good time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't nothing.
I want to say something, and I started to bring this up earlier and I forgot. When I was talking about having four hands, people are like, okay, if you didn't have him do much for the first month, watching. He was on time. He was courteous. He was professional. He was inquisitive. That's important to me. Okay, what do you want me to do? When I asked him to do something, no matter how big or little, he just did it. So for me, he wasn't just standing there doing nothing. He was my full setup. He was my full setup. I have guys caught corners on my truck. I hang it. They might help screw off a little bit or whatever. But the first thing I'm going to have them do is caught corners. Why? Because outside of some of the obvious things, aesthetics, hanging gutter, screws, catching the back of the gutter, like all being level, if you can caulk a miter, that's the most important part. That's what we're warranting.
Yeah.
The customer's not going to know if all the hangers aren't screwed off or really, unless the gutter's super crooked. If you just make them look really good, but you caulk like shit, it's going to leak. And I want you to know right away that that's the number one thing
Mm-hmm.
that you have to, if you're going to be putting miters together, for me, if you're going to be doing downspouts and you're right by a miter, I need you to do that whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, oh, you're the downspout guy.
Yeah.
Do everything right there. Remember how many ladders we used to set up?
Like all the ladders. We used to load that thing with like 2 6. I mean,
Yeah. Tell them.
2 6-footers, 2 8-foot, like a 10 or 12, 18 or 16
All of the
footer,
ladders.
the 24-footers, the 32s. I mean, we were just
And we
loading
put up
ladders, and you
like
told me like, man, just ladders everywhere.
ladders
And then
everywhere.
I remember you telling me like, hey, this is how we want to work. We pull up to the job site. You get off the truck, you go talk to the customer, walk around, show them what we're doing. And then in the meantime, I was just setting up everything, extension cord, hangers, end caps. You told me, oh, I need
Where'd
one end
you
cap
put
to the
that
left
thing?
and
Where you put them on the back of the
like,
truck
yeah,
right
in the
there?
back of it, right
Remember,
there where
that
you
was
were
my
gonna cut.
office,
Yeah.
right?
And
I
then you
see.
had your little Makita stuff. We go, you pull
Remember,
that
I had the
wheel.
bags right there, everything for cutting. So you guys, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. It didn't just start over here at the Brothers.
Hmm.
Remember how I had that truck set up, everything
Yeah.
hanging, tons of tools, right?
Yeah.
All the tools. But you want to have that cut kit specifically. I'll touch on that real quick. In the back of my truck, and some of the guys I trained to be pros, I'm sure you're going to do that moving onto your truck. At the very back left for me, I'm looking in the truck. To the left, I'm going to have some type of pouch or something screwed to the wall. And I'm going to have reds, greens, straights, speed square,
And
100-foot, end cap crimpers, probably downspout crimpers even,
Yeah.
a bunch of bits, drill bits, pencils, pen, marker, and 2 drills,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
One drill for the hole saw, the other one for the
With the quarter-inch
yeah,
bit.
the quarter-inch bit, ready to go. Do. That stuff, I never took it off there when I was gonna go hang gutter. I had another pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's another story. Efficiency. Um, it was fun working with a guy like that though, because I worked every now and then in my career with somebody with a level head that was organized. I got to work with Ian. I got to work. I was the guy I was just shouting out. I got to work with him. He was one of the few would consider normal people, educated, responsible, hardworking man.
Mm-hmm.
With a there had off to some other guys I work with, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but in particular, prior to that, I'm saying prior to Florida, that first time, that time, I had worked in Florida. Told you before. Remember, I used to drive from West Palm Beach to Key West every day, and then from Coconut Creek with my family over there down to Key West, Key Largo every day, 5 hours one way. The worst, man. But those companies didn't have culture.
Mm,
And that company we're talking about, it didn't have culture
no.
besides us. If I was just like an asshole or, just like fed into that bullshit, what was, not to put you on the spot, but like how was that company organized? You continued working there even after I left.
Yeah, you left. I stayed there for
Like
quite a long time.
professionally, what was not like specifically with people, but kind of just lack of culture, right? Like
Yeah.
appreciation. Like what are those things? I don't know because I left when that started, like was going crazy. Something you would want to see. How about for your perspective? You're opening your own business now. What
Mhm.
are some things you learned from any company that you would not be doing that you saw?
Because there was like probably like lack of communication. It was just like, here's the job you're doing and go get that check and that's it.
Check, just a
No,
check.
no feedback, no like, hey, how's the guys doing? How's the new guy doing? How's
Don't matter, just the
yeah,
check.
yeah.
I
I
need the
mean,
check.
was it easy? I mean, was the sales good? You had any trouble? Was the, like
Right.
zero?
So taking feedback from employees, and I think there was times too, right? Even I mean, when I was there, like, hey, let's have a meeting.
Yeah.
I wanted to have meetings all the time. I wanted to have play those videos, those ET songs, right, for the company. Eric Thomas, thank God it's Monday. Remember, I was always pumped up when it was Monday. Culture champion. I'm one. There's others. You were a big part of that. Thank God it's Monday. Eric Thomas, have your guys watch it. Play it in the shop in the morning. Why? Thank God it's Monday for me. Um, it's a new opportunity. Listen, I get all my money on Friday. Like most people, all the bills are due Friday. I have to give all that money away. Damn it, save a little bit, whatever. Take your family for the weekend. But no, you have to pay all the bills. Monday, I was about to make a whole bunch of money. I felt good. Now, of course, by Tuesday, Wednesday, get tired, whatever. But I wasn't like, remember, we weren't like, man, it's Monday. I hate this job. Like we made our own way at that company. We had our culture. Now other guys was having fucking problems and shit, right? And
Mhm.
um you have to have a culture champion. So um if it's not you as the owner or the manager, I think it's okay to say like, I'll get out of the way, man. You're really good at inspiring people. You're
Mhm.
really good at talking. Hey, like I know at that company you had some ideas after I left. You like, hey, let's have some open communication about
Yeah.
pay, structure, responsibility, how we're treating people. Like the owner even like shakes people's hands or like throws a company party or something,
Mhm.
things like that are really important to people. Recognition. Um,
And roles too, who's taking the trash, who's cleaning the bathroom sometimes, or
Perfect.
roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having the roles when you don't have meetings and culture, it's all for one for all. And normally the guy who's been working there the longest, the owner likes that guy, and then he just bosses everybody around, right? Probably take advantage of people, whatever. Who was filling that role there, do you think, when I left? Was that you pretty much?
I
I know it
tried,
was open, but you
no,
tried, right?
yeah, I tried, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was just,
Free for all.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Now let's go back a little bit outside of that company.
Hmm.
What about like the landscaping company you were at, or maybe another place? Had you worked somewhere? I think Ken had like decent culture, right? Because
Yeah.
he had like more long-term employees working over there. Remember you were telling me those guys work really hard for him and he treats them really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like what were some of those things you think? Business isn't always easy. I mean, owners aren't just always all day long walking around handing out $1,000 bills. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sometimes it's like, hey, what the hell's going on? Whatever. But for the most part, like not to put you on the spot, but like, was it decent culture? Really good a culture?
No, it was
Like,
decent. I mean, yeah, I mean, we had meetings, not like every week, but like we had
hmm
like meetings
some structure, more than what we had. We had nothing.
yeah. So that shows that the owner cares about the people.
Right.
And then there was,
And I know he was like more picky too
yeah, he was
about
very,
the way he is running a really nice business.
yeah,
The owner we were working for was like cussing out everyone all the time. And the other manager, well, he was the sales guy then. He was the manager after I left, right?
yeah.
Still crazy with the customers. I don't understand how those businesses stay, man. Just wild. Yeah, no comment. It's okay. I get to comment on anything now when you're the big dog. Um, And so can you. It's freedom of speech. We're not belittling anybody here. Hey, you know what? Maybe that guy will watch this podcast one day and he'll know and maybe he'll grow from it.
True.
But at the end of the day, it's no hate. It's just
No.
that guy
Not at all.
wasn't great with people, man. Kind of,
Yeah.
but money organ greedy.
Mhm.
Greedy's the word. It's okay.
Yeah,
He knows
nobody's
he's greedy.
perfect.
Yeah,
But
for sure. But it affects the culture.
it does big time.
And like we had a good group at that time. I want to shout out a couple of those guys. Corey was working there. James was up and coming. Now he owns his own business,
Yeah.
doing big things. James had a family member, Josh, working over there.
Josh thought.
We had Tio, Tio was such a hard worker, right? That crazy, like want to get sunburned every day. When he was sober, I think he was a real joy, especially me, you,
Yeah.
James, Joseph Bolin.
Joseph.
Man, we
Yeah.
did some mansions over there. Nothing to do. I remember I want to talk about this house we worked on. We did two houses in one day. The first one was like 900 feet, gutter and downspout. It was colonial gray. I'm gonna show you this. I made a post about it.
Mhm.
The next house was over in Boca and Broken Sound. It was one of the new builds, had a million corners, and you've seen there's a picture of you hanging on the roof, talking a corner, and it's like 9 more outside miters in the picture. I'll show it to you that day. Remember, we go through like 3 full coils.
Oh, that okay. I remember that house now. Yeah.
Like just cutting. And then when I got done cutting, I wasn't like there on the phone just talking
No,
to
no,
some
puffed
girl.
up and
Ouched up, man. Let's go. I want to make more money, because I was taking a good chunk of that money. I was making sure. Uh, I knew because I helped start that company that I wanted to finish that company, meaning I wanted to go all the way to the end. And you guys that want to, when I say all the way to the end, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, and some guy says, "Hey, I'm going to open a business. I want to kind of bring you in as my right hand man." Do you feel like we're going to do this for 10, 20 years?
yeah.
Hopefully this guy, you know how it goes. It never happens, but um, not never, but 20 years later, he sells the business, gets some good money and hey, I made like 700,000 on this business or 1 million. Man, thanks for everything. We're close to 50 grand or 20 grand or just something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just acknowledging. That's the plan when you
Yeah.
tell somebody your right hand man. Then 3 years later, you realize this guy is like racist or crazy or greedy, and you're like, shit, I got to start over again. So I did, right? You
Mm-hmm.
remember that process.
Mm-hmm.
I come to Texas, and now you're here, man, baby. So let's talk about it. You're starting the business. Came down here.
Yes.
You want to share the name, man? They can look for it. It's official. You did it official today.
Yeah, I'm still working on the website and some other stuff, but yeah, we made it official. The name, the domain, just bought it, and
What's it
so
going to be?
Miracle Gutters flowing with perfection.
Miracle Gutters flowing with protection. You guys look for this company. I'm going to support it fully. You already know.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Thank you.
man, I'm going to make sure I do everything in my power to help you. And you already know I made some of those phone calls today.
Absolutely.
And you're going to get
Really appreciate
a
it.
couple of those companies I'm talking to. They give everybody good service, but they're going to take extra special care of you for sure. And staying on culture, like what is your culture that you're going to demand at your company now that you know and have worked in several different careers?
Mm-hmm.
Like what is going to be the expectation of yourself down to the first employee all the way to when you grow, hopefully 3, 4, 5 trucks and you have a manager. Like you're going to forget and just go away and let him just boss like what is your
We'll
plan?
always go the extra mile, like not just doing our job and then call the day, but like as when we did help this lady move some furniture, not expecting anything.
Man, how heavy was that furniture, man? How was this the heaviest furniture in the
Yeah, take
world?
it was to the second floor or bring it down to
That things
another.
were like couple things
Yeah.
were like 1,000 pounds. I was whining the whole time. Remember when I had a back
Yeah.
or something like this is crazy. She's not even
Mhm.
man.
But we were always trying to do, hey, let's just help
That's
there's
called
a
plus
old
one. We were
lady,
helping everybody.
she needed a hand, and then we were just there, so why not? Not
Yeah.
expecting anything. She probably tipped us or whatever, but we weren't
I think we got a
looking
review probably.
or
I mean, you remember me, I wasn't big on taking the money. I
mm-hmm.
don't know if you remember that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
always
just
tell them,
yeah.
nah, keep your $100.
Just trying to
Shit.
serve, trying to put back on the yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, go the extra mile,
Okay.
and then not just be professional on the job, which is very important, of course, but trying to help people, sir. Like as you guys, I think we're saying this morning, like if you're out there cutting and then the trash is out and then the trash truck already passed by,
Mhm.
just put the trash back in the by the garage or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Little details, they'll see it. Do walk 2 times the property, make sure there's no scrap left and all that.
2 times the. Remember how important that was to me? You remember funny story. Remember when I would like, hey, go walk, and you would walk, and hey man, go walk again. And you would go walk again, and then what happened? I would walk with you
Just
and find
yeah,
two fucking screws, two
yeah.
pieces of hey man, in 2 seconds. Hey, like
You know what? I was paying attention. I was just missing it
no,
somehow, but
yeah,
yeah,
but just learning experience of how important it was
yeah,
to look, right?
yeah.
Everything. Like everything. Remember, hey, get out and watch me when I'm backing up, like
Mhm.
out of the truck, like try to follow all the rules, right? And I wanted to be a culture leader, like that way I knew I was gonna lead more crews, and I knew I wanted everybody to know that I was doing exactly what I was asking them to do.
Mhm.
Hey, why did you have a problem doing 480 feet of 6-inch gutter, one story today with 3 people on your truck and me and this rookie, we can do 1,600 feet of gutter and downspout or 1,600 feet of gutter and 900 because remember, we never, not never, but rarely, hey man, you want to finish tomorrow? Hell no, I want to
No, no, no.
finish right now, man. It's
Well,
4 o'clock. We'll just be finished at 7:30.
yeah.
Massive houses, mansions. 2 people, man. Me and you, bro.
No, I remember
It's wild.
when I first started doing the miters, I think it took me like probably 5 to 10 minutes per miter,
Oh my goodness.
right?
I would be looking, remember? I would cut.
5 minutes, taking
Hey man, been like
minutes,
8 minutes to put a couple screws. Man.
and I remember you saying like, man, that should take you like 20 seconds,
Remember
like
what I would
literally
come
20
do?
seconds.
I would come stand underneath and close it for you a little bit here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, man. Just go like this. You're
And I
gonna
always
get
say,
there.
nah, man, this guy's crazy. There's no way you're gonna do this in 20 seconds. I mean, that's impossible. Until one day you just shoot me, or you just shoot me like, man, done. Talk and
Okay.
everything.
Yeah, done,
So,
done.
and then I was like, man, I'll never be there. I mean, 20 seconds, that's like, eventually I got there,
Yeah.
like
And downspouts.
20,
A lot
30
of guys
seconds.
take like 5, 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. No.
You remember those records
My
back in the day?
my first one, remember we were talking about it
Yeah,
the
like
other day,
what?
like
Like
45 minutes,
yeah,
one story, and
forever.
it was like this.
Super crooked. Super. So do you remember
But
those times like that we used to take? How long? Like what, minute, 45
yeah, it's
seconds?
like
I was, and the guys would always try to, hey man, I can beat you, right?
oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like we had that system developed, like not just setting up ladders, like okay, let's go measure. We finish measuring,
Build
and
everything.
then I would just put in elbows, where the down squat
Yeah.
will go. I started doing the
The
rake,
rake, yeah.
and then having everything ready. Put the bottom elbow, B elbow, A elbow, whatever on the
And do
top
it
on the
when we
down
go
squat.
around. That way
Straps
we're
are
not
ready
making
with
all these
yeah. Straps
trips.
with the top count already,
Yeah.
like if
There.
I can do the holes, I just do the straps and leave them right there.
Mhm.
So that, and then I back then I thought like, oh man, this is just not a waste of time, but I didn't think it made such a difference. But that saves a lot of time, like probably hours, like
Yeah,
easily
listen,
hours.
every little trick I have saves you about like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, if you got
By
that
time
out,
a
yeah,
whole bunch of things,
yeah.
right? So example, like, oh man, I got all these tricks. Okay, whatever. And some guys do.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can save you like 1 hour to 3 hours, because I have a lot of tricks. You remember how I do my diagram, how I measure, how I write, how I put the numbers on the roof, not on the outside. You put the downspout here, like the way I keep the truck, the way I have the office in the
Yeah.
back, like all these things, 1 hour to 3 hours, 5 days a week. Okay, minimum you're saving 5 hours. How much would me and you do in 5 hours? Probably like 500, 600 feet of gutter
Easy.
or tear off or 1,000 feet, whatever, because mainly how fast I was cutting, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then I could get straight to work. I mean, can cut like 600 feet of gutter in 2 hours with tabs and maybe have, I mean, just roughly, I don't know, 20 miters,
Mm-hmm.
not like 4 miters, end cap to end cap. Could just,
Yeah, that's pretty much our everyday job, you know.
yeah,
Doesn't
just do,
matter
just
if
be
it's
good
three
at,
or four
yeah, just be
meters.
good at it, whatever, get fast. Um, but what if you were saving 2.5 hours every day?
Hmm.
Now you got 10 hours, 11 hours, 12
Full day.
hours.
That's a full day on the
Oh my
field.
goodness, now you're doing another 1,000 feet. Plus
Mm-hmm.
we get in percent at that time, 23, 20%, whatever, splitting that
Or
down.
going home earlier and
Or
spending
going
time
home
with
early, spending
family
time
or
with your
whatever.
family.
Yeah.
Or back to culture. Remember, I used to everybody, man, come on out on bite, whatever. You weren't drinking. Remember,
No.
barely drinking that time. I was drinking, going to the
Mm-hmm.
bar. But, if you were coming over there, buying food, drinks, my house, cooking for everybody, always inviting everybody over, making
Trying
the
to, yeah.
shirts,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying to keep everybody happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because not in all instances, but the company is a huge weight on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
The burden, a lot of the owners, man, like reminding you who wrote the check. Man, I write these checks, or I get it, man. I don't want the screws in the driveway, flat tires too, but I'm not perfect. I've been doing this for 2 weeks or 90 days. And when I dump, there's screws everywhere. I haven't learned that good process. Instead of belittling you, just picking them up, like whatever it is, having compassion and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
understanding
Yeah.
that people nowadays, and even back then, but they have so much on their plate, man. It's hard to stay married, it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to raise kids. It's hard to be a good neighbor. It's hard to respect the owners sometimes. The hard for the owners to respect the employee. Usually they're on two different pay grade. Like the owners got education, great at saving, retiring, all this. And then these workers are all just like, it's construction. We talked about that. Like these guys, myself included, didn't come from great backgrounds or were perfect, etc. So like two different kinds of people, and the owner like, man, why does this guy not thinking that way? And this guy going with the owner's not going to hang 8 stories off the roof. And you have a need for everybody. You have to meet in the middle with understanding and compassion. Like the anger never works.
Mm-hmm. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no,
the
no.
anger never
Definitely.
works. Another quick story, man, that was really funny. I was going to bring up, but it slipped my mind. I'm going to sip this water. What was it, man? I was just going to talk about it. Um, you got another story? Something funny of me and you, man?
The parkour.
Oh yeah, the parkour. Okay, the parkour, yeah. So,
Yeah, I remember that story better than.
well, this house was mansion. We were jumping and bouncing all over this house and we installed really quick. I want to go to another story. The
Okay.
biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest houses. We were talking about it that we did.
Uh-huh.
Alicia Keys' house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats. And you remember, because you're better with geography, it's been a while. Where were we at over there? Parkland?
No, that was Del Rey. Stone Creek, I think.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah, Del Rey, yeah.
Speaking of Parkland, we were working that day, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And when the shooting, man, remember that was a crazy day. We went over there. Remember we went to that street. That was a crazy next month of time over there, right? Like the compassion for those families.
Yeah.
You see now what has happened like 10 more times, man.
Mm.
And when I talk about that, like people have mental illnesses. Remember that kid? Like he's still just a kid. He was being bullied, whatever, and didn't have a good family, the Parkland shooter, and like he's
Mm-hmm.
a fucking murderer. But he's still just a child, man, probably really
Yeah.
lost. And the same thing with these people that are doing all these other school shootings and job shootings. When I'm talking about culture, I'm talking about trying to change people's lives.
Yeah, yeah.
We spoke with
Not
that.
just
Just to
in the
teach them
work
how to do
environment,
a
but in,
downspout,
yeah,
change their life,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that's how my life was changed. Like through hard work and dedication. Maybe not so much any one in particular person, but my first boss treated me with so much dignity and respect at a young age. I was 16, 17, and he made me feel like a man, like
Mm-hmm.
gave me so much responsibility and care and gifts, and he paid me really well. Steve Willis, Jason and Nicole Willis's father, my first boss, 1996 Wolverine sheet metal. Steve, I can't thank enough for the opportunity. And we talk every now and then. He's on Facebook, and
Nice.
yeah, he'll say something nice on my post or something. And one of my other first bosses, Tony Cobb, I just got to see him at GutterCon,
Mm.
another company with great culture. So I came from companies with fabulous culture, the first two I worked at a young age, and I couldn't comprehend the rest of what I saw throughout my life.
Mm.
Jealous owners, micromanaging owners. Owners act like they know everything, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been upfront. So now talking to today, the culture that you see here in the company that I'm running now,
Oh, it's like day and night compared to what I've seen, to what I was used to.
like what I was doing, or you mean that the company?
The company.
I was trying to do the same thing at these
Yeah,
other
no, I
companies. Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that. I
yeah, yeah.
remember the meetings. I remember like,
Oh, you mean the way the company's actually running is day and night different?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Because the way where we were at, it was ran as we were
Like
saying, like,
cowboys?
but like it was organized. We had our code right here. We had our
Yeah, yeah,
system,
yeah, yeah.
and everything. I'm not saying it was a mess, but
Mm.
like
No, we
it
were
was like
making a killing over there. We just didn't
yeah,
have much appreciation.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. In general, but like here, I just see the environment. You guys like this morning, you guys just sit down and chill, and then you guys had a meeting.
How long
Got
was
the
that meeting?
meeting
Total, like the whole
like
thing.
the
Hour and a half,
hour and a half, yeah,
2 hours almost.
almost 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, every Tuesday to keep the culture important. What did we talk about culture wise in that meeting? Do you remember? Like we did shout outs, remember?
Oh yeah.
Tell each other like somebody's looking up to you or great job, I seen you working or I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These guys going back and forth and then like being transparent with the numbers, right?
Yeah. I
That's
remember
crazy,
that.
huh?
Yeah, that's another thing there. Like,
But then everything was like crooked. Yeah, that's wild right there. First time seeing that where the company, I sit down and we break down the numbers to the employees every single week.
mm-hmm.
And we watch an inspirational video or we do a quote. We do book reports, reading books.
Yeah, and as I was saying, you were asking the salesman, "Hey, what's going on? What are your thoughts? What do you see? What do you feel? Like, how can we get better?" Like, you were taking input from everybody, not just
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I'm the boss. This is it. Like, this is what I think, and we're gonna make more sales." And I don't care. No, like, hey,
Well, yeah, we're a
let's,
team.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
to make them feel like a team and empower them.
yeah,
They know I'm the boss. They know who writes the check and pays the rent and buys the trucks.
yeah.
They know who the brothers are on the logo right there.
Mm-hmm.
But who are they? To me, they're just as important. We need those two guys. We need Kip and Brooke. We need me and Lisa. We need everybody to the shop guy, and we need input from people like you that I let come in and see what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't show you like all the just to say like you didn't see like on my computer like
No.
how we run our franchise, like our programs. Like I don't share that shit with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But we show you how we show the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
what's important to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can take something from that to any business, including your household. Because I've been a better man with my fine. Now I own a couple businesses or a lot of businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you my journey with that is through culture. And people recognized, Tim in particular, recognized that I was a culture champion. And he wanted me to have that in Gutter Growth. And I worked my ass off for people to recognize that for sure. And it's paid off. And I have a fabulous team of people around me and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see you open your business.
Me too.
Yeah. Don't want to bust any paint cans in the driveway.
That was one of those days, man.
Man,
One of those days.
trying to think of one last like kind of educational story. You got something, man, about maybe a really hard day or a situation you remember working with me that you can take as a learning experience for down the road. We got in a
Well,
go
mainly,
ahead.
mainly the patience. Like you were always patient and always. I don't remember you saying like, "Oh man, this is too hard," or like, "Oh man, we're never gonna get this done." It was the opposite. Always like motivating me, like, "Oh man, we get it done. No worries." Even though like if we wouldn't finish
Right,
because
right, yeah,
X
it's
whatever
crazy.
reason, but like we were
Well, we
still
were
like
setting
trying
the
our best.
bar so high. Like if we just did normal house one or two, we would finish all the time. We were doing
If we
mega
didn't finish,
mention.
at least we went home knowing that
We
we
did
gave
more
it
than anybody
100%.
else. Yeah,
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
put it all.
So
We
much
gave it all.
gutter, like couple pieces
Yeah.
or downspouts left.
So yeah, I mean, I
Like
just
run out of daylight, basically.
yeah. But I'll take that. Yeah, I mean, always like motivating people.
Being
Like
positive,
yeah,
yeah.
hey, let's get it. I remember even like after long days, hey, we have like 300 feet of splash guard for tomorrow. We just go to the shop and start doing splash guard at like 6 o'clock,
Make
7 o'clock,
it now.
just right there, so we can go leave earlier, go home earlier. Like always,
Forward
yeah,
thinking. We were thinking
yeah.
about the next day too, and the
Rainy
next
day,
day
we'll show up. We'll do splash guard straps or
get all our
diving
stuff
stuff.
ready.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just raining. Okay,
And
we can.
nobody had to ask us to do that. Like,
No,
not say we loved it every day, just showing up.
well,
Okay, I'm here ready to
a
work.
couple hours, but yeah,
Yeah,
it was
but
worth it.
just
Yeah.
stay to in charge of ourselves,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. It was,
In charge of ourselves. That's like the big thing I see in the industry is a lot of people have to be told what to do. Like even
tell
when
me
they've been
about it.
doing a year or two or three, you still don't have any damn tools. It's been 2 years. You only buy that one little chalk drill, with the teeny battery,
Powder cable.
quarter cable. Like, yeah, like maybe the
Black and
first
Decker.
week, but
Yeah.
these guys make money and they just still have crap and never have downspout snips or like
Mm.
crimpers, nothing, right? Like okay,
You have
so
to beg them.
moving forward, long story short, I left and you started to be like at least the big leader of the company because you had the 7 inch, right?
Yeah.
And how did it go when all of a sudden? Because I was gone, poof, kind of out of the blue, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. That
mean,
just happened.
yeah, a couple days, okay,
Mm-hmm.
later to that shit, man. And
So yeah, he gave me that position. He just, I guess, he trusted me. I thought I wasn't ready because I didn't have much experience cutting. I've seen you cut before.
yeah, I
I didn't
didn't let
really.
that happen too much because we would be there a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
because of how fast I could
yeah.
make us money, we
Yeah,
would.
yeah,
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 yeah. No, yeah. But you
yeah.
told me,
Yeah,
when you
you knew
had
what's
time.
up.
Oh man, yeah, you want to cut? Yeah, here. No, you're doing this wrong. Push it with your belly and pull right here.
Hmm.
Little
Hmm.
tricks.
Yeah.
And so I just put on the 7 inch truck. I was like scared to death, but always kept in my mind like, hey, I got this. Sometimes like you always used to do those downhills and stuff. And
Quick.
then when I go to do my first downhill by myself, I was just scratching my head, and then but I just like in my head I was just remembering how you did it and the tricks you showed me and everything. So I just made it happen. Just showing up every
And you
day,
were
trying my
successful with
best,
it,
and
right?
yeah, I
I
think I
think
did
that's
pretty
a
good.
big thing too, is make sure that nobody at your company is hoarding education unless you're okay with that as the owner. Man, I remember show you everything. Every tool, my cool pair of pliers. Remember?
Yeah, that
No,
we left
no,
on that cover
no,
job and we
yeah.
got them like 6 months later. They were
Yeah, we're a
still
little
there.
rusty, but like wasn't that I don't want to tell everybody, but probably one of the coolest tools
Yeah,
ever.
yeah. I just asked
And we
you
use
this
it for
today
every
about
oh
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that was
they
showing
were
you
nice.
everything I know.
Yeah,
You never ask me
exactly.
something and say, hey, don't worry about that. You're supposed to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, maybe okay, finish this and I'll show you. Or
Yeah.
who cares? Let me show you.
Yeah, when it wasn't the right time because we got, yeah, hey, just take care of that and I'll show you later. There should be another job that I can show you and take more time. And
Yeah,
like when we
yeah.
did I don't know what they're called, but the square downspouts.
Yeah,
I made
yeah.
that
Put the Pac-Man.
the airport.
Yeah, I let you do it right there. I have the video
Yeah,
of the whole thing.
yeah, I didn't even
I
know
still
you
have
had a
the video.
video.
Remember, I said it right there, and then you're walking, and we
And we,
did like two or three.
and we did the same, but I think it was a 3x4 at that where the guy from the drummer, what's his name? From Judas Priest,
Come on, Judas
across the
Priest.
street.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did those, but in
yeah.
not
And
as
we
big
did
as
Judas Priest. We did
yeah,
what was that guy's name? I'm gonna look real quick. Uh um I'm gonna look really quick. Yeah.
drummer.
No, he was the lead. Remember, he was the guitarist.
Hmm.
Oh, I can't remember his dang name, man.
Didn't you have a picture with him?
Yeah, I have a picture with it on my
Facebook.
guitarist. Man, what was his name? Okay, I'm not gonna go too far into it. Richie Faulkner.
Hmm.
It was Richie Faulkner. We did a lot of famous people actually back then. Okay, one last story about the greatest time in my whole life with you. Remember when I do all those corners with no pattern, no nothing.
Yeah,
And we recorded
I
it.
recorded it. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah. I
it's on
have
my
pictures of it.
Instagram.
Yeah.
It's on my
That's
Instagram.
when you first started the custom gutter guy.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I had the other one, but I had the G deals. I started the custom gutter guy. So one day, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but we were doing that one story around the porch, around the garage, and it went
Mhm.
back and went over. And I was like, watch, I'm gonna just no pattern. And this is hand tap, and it has to be perfect.
Yeah,
How did that happen? Like
it just yeah. That miter was like
beautiful.
perfect. Yeah.
Both. Yeah. And I was cutting so much gutter. That's when we got those pressure washers. Remember in the truck? We had the truck
Oh,
with the two pressure
yeah.
washers.
Art was doing it.
Culture. Um, you want to know more about championing culture? I have a whole course on it. Join our mastermind, guttergrowth.com/join. Reach out to me about culture. Most of my time is devoted, first and foremost, to, the brothers that just do gutters, Austin. And then um, I'm still a servant of everybody's. I'll give you the time. My time is getting more and more limited as I have um, paying members of Gutter Growth that need my time to create new resources and programs and systems. But I'm still always here for you guys. I'm going to continue to give on this podcast. Um, Culture directly affects your retention. Retention, when we say know your numbers, is a number that I'd be willing to say a lot, not all companies have no clue what percentage that's costing them out of their bottom and top line, because there's different factors with retention, especially if some of your employees spite you, resent you, dislike you, hate you, wish they didn't work at that company, but maybe don't necessarily show it to you because
Mhm.
they're scared to lose their job, because even though they don't love it,
They need it.
they need it, right? Because a lot of people are insecure in their value. Owners and employees are insecure, and so we get caught in this trap of like, he's never going to leave me, and the from the owner and the helper going, man, I could never quit,
Hmm.
or the lead or whatever. And you waste 7 years of your life, or 5 or 2, or why waste 30 minutes? Why not be aware of a culture that's necessary and created as the employee or the employer?
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be your whole life put into this thing. It's supposed to make you money and pay for your family. And as an employee, see why I told you I don't really like to have employees. I like to have partners. They're a lot more invested in that culture, and they're willing to learn and grow. Miracle Gutters, man. When do you think
Okay.
you're gonna officially open? Let's say 30 days.
That's the plan. That's the
Gonna,
plan.
as long as you get everything,
Right.
30 days. What's the date today, man? The 16th?
April 17, the 16.
Man, you try to grab a day, it's the 16th. Always trying to trick me, man.
So yeah,
16th, so
May.
May 16th, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, hey, but you did a lot today, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
we
you
we
told me about
created
that.
all of those actions, and you know what you need to do, and
We
what
got that
order you need to
checklist.
do them in. And we have some more we're gonna get off of this and complete some more.
What's key?
And I'm proud of you, man.
Thank
It's
you.
gonna be important.
Thank you.
And I have a cool gift for you. One of those things you can check off your list today. So,
Okay.
man,
We'll see.
do it up.
Thanks.
Hey guys, please, I don't ask much. Like and subscribe. Well, you don't even have to like it. It means the world to me if you go subscribe to my channel. I never understood, I've been watching podcasts, I feel like my whole life, but whatever, maybe,
Hmm.
or not podcasts, but YouTube,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. And they're always like, smash the like button, hit that subscribe. And I was like, no, I'll just keep coming back and looking at your stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. And maybe sometimes I hit the subscribe and it wants me to log in or something. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I understand now the importance of it. It's just important. We're able to track more of our data. We understand too that when you subscribe, our podcast will pop up and send you an alert that a new one's coming out. I want to continue to put out a lot of these, sometimes having a little more fun like we did today. something we've been talking about. I really wanted to have you on my podcast.
Mhm.
And I don't get to do a lot of them in person with people because they're all over the country. You spend your hard-earned money to come fly in to learn and to have some fun on the podcast. So please subscribe at least to my podcast. That would be important. You don't have to send it to all your family. I don't want a bunch of fake subscribers and stuff like that. And I want to take this time to tell you that I'm getting ready to release information on the summit. And if you choose to support myself and my team over at Gutter Growth, I would really appreciate that. And I want you to know that I'm going to be giving everything that I have to continue to develop the industry at a high level so that we can charge more, so that we're not scared to help out people and grow, and this industry can start to really take off. And I would appreciate your support. If you already support me on the podcast, that you take a good look at what we're going to have to offer at the summit that we've partnered with Spectra on. We're going to have a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of education, and I'm going to pour my heart and soul into what I'm going to be able to teach you guys there, as well as my partners, Mr. Pipeline, our sponsor, One Gutter Guide, Spectra, just to name a few of the people that are going to be there with a more hands-on training facilitated for you. And I appreciate you guys for watching my podcast. I've got a lot more coming for you. I hope you have a great night. Please stay safe out there and reach out to me. You guys know how to get a hold of me and or my partner Tim. And I think this is a podcast. It's broken like how many I've done right now. Of course, it's a new record because every time you do one, it is. But I had thought about this a couple months ago, reaching this podcast level today, and I thought I would do other people.